Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Today is Tuesday, October the 22nd. My name is Judge Esparza. We have some writs scheduled for this afternoon. Defendants are present in the courtroom. They have been sworn in. Speaking to them, they all understand English. The case we're going to call, because you're the only attorney here, so you get to go first, Mr. Ramos, is C 4861-24-C, State of Texas versus Herman Ramon. You speak English, correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead and stand in the middle of the room there. Please, right there's fine. Move back a little bit. Face the TV monitor. Mr. Ramos, this is your motion. You may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ms. Beltran, and Your Honor. Judge, we're here on the writ, as the court knows, for Herman Ramon. His current bond is $100,000. Mr. Ramon is 41 years old. He's a non-U.S. citizen, Judge. He's been a resident alien since he was a child. He went to elementary school up in Indiana, but ended up down here in the Valley as a teenager. Ended up graduating from Elsa High School. He's got some college. He's got 3 children who are all U.S. citizens, a wife who's a U.S. citizen. He does not frequent Mexico. The last time he was in Mexico was he said about 14 months ago when they went to celebrate a birthday, but it's not a frequent thing, Judge. As a court, bond is not to be used as a tool of oppression, only to be used is to assure the court, Judge, and we believe that the conditions are conditions that will accomplish that goal, Judge, as well as to protect the safety of the community. Regarding his criminal history, Judge, he's got 1 misdemeanor. It was a DWI in the early 2000s. He had no issues with that, completed probation successfully. He had no issues with his bond back when he was facing that charge.
Mr. Ramos, whatever you're moving around there, it's making a lot of noise. Can barely hear you.
I'm going to repeat myself. He's got no criminal history, Your Honor. He had a DWI back in, I believe, 2006, in the early 2000s. He successfully completed all the conditions of his probation on that, and he had no bond issues. He went to court on that, Judge. As I stated, he is not a U.S. citizen. He's a resident alien, but there is no ICE hold. All his people are U.S. citizens. He's got a long work history here in the Valley. He was in a hospital administration for a long time with Valley Baptist, and that's where he met his wife, who's an RN. He's now a stay-at-home dad. He's got 3 children with his wife, and she's got 3 children of her own. Five of the 6 live with them, Your Honor. Regarding this case, obviously the allegations are real serious. And as I've stated before to the court, a lot of times there's a knee-jerk reaction on these kind of cases, and as such, right, we should protect the interests of our children. I did want to point out to the court, though, that just as the court considers aggravating circumstances in cases, the law states it also considers some mitigating circumstances. And I had the opportunity to share a screen with the court. Unfortunately, Judge, the complainant on this case is a young lady who suffered a lot of mental issues over the years, including schizophrenia, auditory and visual hallucinations. And with the court's permission, I sent a request to share the screen, an intake sheet just as recently as a few days ago from Tropical.
Hang on, what is it you're wanting to share?
It is an intake sheet from Tropical South Texas, Your Honor, in her own words, stating how she hears auditory hallucinations and visual hallucinations, Judge. And I just wanted to point that out. Again, just as the court considers aggravating circumstances, we believe it to be a mitigating circumstances in that it certainly brings these allegations into question, Judge. And we just ask the court to consider that. Regarding ability to make bond, the bond is $100,000 right now. Since Mr. Ramon is not a U.S. citizen, the normal traditional 10% being asked by bondsmen is not being asked right now. They're asking for close to 100%, Judge. As such, the family has put some money together. We know it's a serious charge, but we're asking the court to consider a $10,000 bond, which will probably have to pay most of that to a bondsman. Again, Your Honor, we believe that there are conditions or combinations of conditions that will This judge, the Rio Grande Valley, he's not going anywhere. And we believe that the only other issue is obviously the victim, the safety of the alleged victim in this case. And we'll do what the court instructs us to do. Stay away from them, stay away from the family, do whatever needs to be done, on that end of it, anything that will satisfy the court to assure the safety of the complainant and of the community judge. So that's all we have. We just ask the court to exercise the discretion. And,
What says the state, Michelle?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. The state would be opposed to a bond reduction. The victim in this case is the defendant's stepdaughter. She said that the abuse started when she was 8 years old. She is currently 13 years old. The defense stated that he lives with his wife and with 5 of the children. 5 of his. The state would be concerned of where he would stay, and for the safety of not only the victim but also of the other children, Judge.
The magistrate who arraigned him issued a protective order for 61 days. It looks like will expire Friday, December 13th of this year. During that time, he's not to have any contact, and they should have gone over this with you at your arraignment, Mr. Ramon. You're not to have any contact with the protected person. Who's Erica Ramon? Is that your wife?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're not to have any contact with her, or it looks like the alleged victim, a young child, which means
100 yards.
you need to listen to me, okay? You're not giving the orders here, I am, okay? There's a protective order. It says you're not to have any contact with him, and it's all checked off. You'll get a copy of this when you leave, and share it with your attorney, but it says do not commit any family violence or assaults on the protected persons. Do not communicate directly with a member of the family or household person in a threatening or harassing manner. Do not communicate in any manner with any family or household member that's protected under this order. So your understanding, I don't know what it was, but I'm telling you, you're not to have any communication. That means don't even call him from jail in here. Do you understand me? You're not to possess any firearms wherever you go when you're released. You're not to have any, make sure there's no firearms, whether they're yours or not, belong to the person that owns the household. You either can't stay there or they need to remove the firearms. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You're not to go within 200 yards of the address located in Gumwood Street in McAllen, or Rio Grande Regional Hospital. I believe that's a place of employment, or the middle school where this child attends. Is that clear? Again, this order will expire on Friday, December the 13th. If your attorney wants to see about modifying it, he would have to do so with Judge Marcus Barrera out of the city of McAllen. He issued the protective order, so if any modifications are being requested, they would need to petition to that court. I do not see an ICE hold on your client, Mr. Ramos.
I was not aware of that yesterday, Judge.
Yeah, I didn't see an ICE hold. I know you indicated that he's not a U.S. citizen, but I did not see a hold on him for immigration. You have status to be here, sir?
I'm a lawful permanent resident, sir.
Okay, yeah, so that's probably why they didn't put a hold on him. I'm not saying they won't, but as of right now, there's no hold on him, okay? Where do you live currently, sir?
I currently live with my wife, but I have somewhere to stay, sir.
Okay, and where would that address be where you would be staying?
17013 Diaz Street in Westaco.
17031?
17013.
13. Diaz,
Yes, sir.
who lives in that residence, sir?
It's my brother. If I'm not able to stay there, I will stay next door at my grandmother's. But
Make sure you give that information to your attorney if you are released on bond. You're not working right now?
No, sir, yeah,
Where were you working prior?
I worked at Valley Baptist Medical Center,
How long did you work there?
from 2005 up to 2021, where I had to resign due to a life-threatening pregnancy to my wife, sir.
What did you do for the hospital?
I started off as a certified nurse's aide, then I became a PCT, became a unit clerk, where I manned a 42-bed floor on a 5-star tower.
How old are you, sir?
I'm 41 years old.
You're not working right now, you said, right?
I did work at Mission Regional briefly, but we had to relocate to Indiana briefly, for a nursing contract in 2022, sir.
You understand the no contact order? That means with your wife. So even if she calls you, I would not answer the phone. You may want to talk to your attorney about that, but any contact with her or any of the persons protected under that order, and you'll get a copy of it when you get out of here. It's about 4 or 5 pages long. You make sure you read it. The magistrate, I'm sure, told you about it. I'm warning you about it, and you'll have a copy. So there won't be any excuses that I didn't know. You understand me?
Right.
I'm gonna order that he be released to AIP officials. This means you'll be under house arrest. You're not working, so it shouldn't be a problem. If you get a job, you need to notify them where you're working. They'll verify your schedule and your employment. And if you're supposed to be working, they'll go check to see if you're there. If you're supposed to be home, they'll go check to see if you're at home. And if you're violating any of those conditions of AIP, they'll notify the court and you're gonna end up back in jail. Do you understand me? It's about when they come and visit with you before you're released, they're gonna give you a list of about 20 rules you'll need to cover, to follow. Don't get arrested. No drugs, no alcohol, no firearms. You make sure you read it before you sign it, because I don't want to hear any excuses that I just signed it and I didn't read it. You read it. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
Again, no contact with the victim or the victim's family. As long as you've been in custody 8 days. Bond will be reduced to $20,000 cash surety. You hit $20,000 cash surety, Mr. Gomes, with all other conditions. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
That's all we have here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ramos.
Have a good day, Judge.
You too. Good luck to you, sir. You can have a seat. Good luck to you. Next case we're gonna call is 4843-24-F, State of Texas versus Amber Moreno. Roel Garcia.
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm trying to get on the video.
You turn on your camera. Saw you had it on a minute ago.
Yes,
There you are.
Okay.
And you speak English, correct, Miss? The client's present. She speaks English. You may proceed.
yes, Your Honor. This is Miss Amber Moreno. She's 30 years old. She's a U.S. citizen. She's been in custody since on or about October 7th of this year. She has one 6-year-old daughter, Your Honor. She's being charged with assault on a peace officer, a second-degree felony, and she has a current bond of $12,000 cash surety. She has not been able to make bond. We're thinking of maybe putting her on the AIP program if possible, because it doesn't look like she's going to have any funds to make bond.
What says the state?
Your Honor, the state is opposed to a bond reduction. This offense stemmed from, she threatened her neighbor, and was arrested for a terroristic threat. She was also arrested for resisting arrest and for fail to ID. At the jail, she was transported to the emergency room where she proceeded to kick the officer in the groin, and the chest, and the arm. Her bond is currently at $12,000. The state believes this is a reasonable bond.
Your Honor, my client is a patient at Tropical, Texas, I believe, and that may explain a large part of the allegations against her.
Ms. Moreno,
So-
how old are you? ma'am?
30 years old. Sorry?
Do you have a job?
Yes, sir. I have my own business called Home Spa by Amber in my apartment, and I am I've for 3 years already.
Children live with you?
My daughter has been on and off due to an assault that happened to me last year.
Daughter live with now?
Um,
Who is your daughter living with?
She stays with her dad when I have problems having to control not my bipolar, but I would say like having a lot of crying spells, mental health and stuff like that.
Are you on medication?
Yes, I do take
See the
medication.
doctor?
Yes, I do go to the psychiatrist, psychology.
You go to Tropical?
Yes, I have been patients in Tropical in South Texas.
How long, when was the last time you went?
The last time I went, I believe was in February or March.
I asked that if you are released, that you can continue your visits with Tropical. Make sure you continue and you take your medication as directed.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, I am
You
doing.
still live at the same complex?
I'm currently living in 1200 West Molana Avenue.
Is it the same complex where you were arrested?
Yes, sir.
You have a lease there?
Yes, I do.
When did your lease expire?
I just got it, sir, with the help of the,
When does your lease expire is my question.
it's my first month there. It's gonna be like the second one. So the first one was with housing.
How long is the lease?
I believe it's 1 year.
Okay, so it'll expire a year from now. So you're gonna go back there. You
Yes.
may encounter the same individual. I don't want any more problems, you understand? Well, and you may run into her. You do see her, you go the other way. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
No order, no contact with the alleged victim. So you can pass each other. I don't want any contact, no comments, no contact. That means speaking to each other. Physical contact, is that clear?
Yes.
I'll also order that she be released to AIP officials. Same thing I told the other individual, you'll be under house arrest. You work from home, it shouldn't be a problem. They'll go check on you to make sure you're there when you're supposed to be there. The only reason you'll be allowed to leave if you're going to a doctor's appointment or you're going to visit with probation, or you're going to a job site, but you need to notify them ahead of time to go to the doctors or wherever. You just don't do it without their permission. First time they come back and tell me you're not there where you're supposed to be, you end up back in jail. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
Bond will be reduced to $1,000 cash surety. She still has the pending misdemeanor charges, right?
Yes, Your Honor, she has 3, and I'm trying to get her in, hopefully this week, so we can maybe resolve them.
Okay. It's $1,000 cash surety, so with dollars you should be able to make bond and get out on this case. I don't know about your other cases. Anything else, Fred?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Have a good afternoon. Good luck to you, man.
Thank you. Have a great day.
The next case we're gonna call is C 4836-24 Texas versus Crystal Garza. You speak English, Crystal? Okay. Crystal Chavaya, your client's present. You may proceed.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Thank you very much. Your Honor, we're here on a motion to reduce, my client is being charged with theft, I believe state jail felony, more than equal to 2,500, but less than 30,000. I believe there was a vehicle involved. She borrowed a vehicle from a friend. I believe that vehicle may have been, registered as, or identified as stolen. I don't have the full PC. We're just asking for a reduction from 10,000 to potentially 5,000, or $2,500 cash surety, Your Honor, at this time. And full disclosure, Your Honor, she does have a warrant out of the 464th. She was supposed to have court last week. She got in an accident, some sort of injury. She has, I think it's still visible on her body. She has some scarring and stuff, so she didn't make it to court. The court issued that warrant, so we still have that mountain to climb to get her out, in any case, whatever happens here, Your Honor.
Okay, what says the state?
Your Honor, the state would be opposed to a bond reduction. The defendant, based on the PC, she was stealing a vehicle and trying to cross to Mexico. Additionally, this year alone, this would be her third arrest. She had 6 cases pending, 4 misdemeanors and 2 felonies before this arrest. 10,000 cash surety for the amount of cases that she has, Your Honor. The state considers that to be reasonable.
Ms. Garza, you remember me? You've been here before, right? In fact, I just looked at the order of commitment. You were here back in July where I gave you a PR bond on a couple of cases and allowed you to be released. And during that time, you were not supposed to get arrested. You were not supposed to use drugs or alcohol. Well, you were in a vehicle that had been reported stolen.
I don't understand because the night before that, I
don't want to go into the facts of the case. I'm just telling you, those are the allegations. I don't think your attorney would want you to make any statements at this time.
That's correct, Your Honor.
I'm just telling you, the allegations are that you were in a vehicle that had been reported stolen. Where you got it, I don't know. And that's something that when you get to court, we can straighten out with your attorney and the court. Right now, we're just here discussing your bond. Where do you live, ma'am? Who do you live with? Who?
My mother, my daughter, and stuff.
There is a nice eye, as your attorney said, which is a warrant because you didn't show up to court. It looks like on the 11th. But my understanding is from reading the report, that's when you were arrested on the 10th. So she didn't show up to court because she was in jail. It looks like.
That makes sense, Your Honor.
And also, it's also showing a hold from Edinburgh Police Department. I'm not sure what that is, but there is a hold also there that you may need to look into.
I did not see that, Your Honor. I assumed that was one of the previous theft charges, but maybe something else.
Not sure, but there is a hold, so you may want to contact regarding that matter. And
Yes,
that's
sir.
set for a arraignment on November 16th. In this case, I'm sorry, the case out of the 464th, except for.
That's correct. I contacted the court and got that date set.
Okay, I'll go ahead and reduce the bond to $5,000 cash surety. Same conditions as before, ma'am. No drugs, no alcohol. I don't know if they've drug tested you since you've been out, but
It's against under probation, and I did. I said we can find a case or anything like that, and I got drug tested there, so they never called me back. Right?
okay. If they call you again, you make sure you show up. You understand?
I do have.
Stay out of trouble. I don't want to see you back here a third time because I'm not going to let you out a third time. Is that clear?
Procedures on my arm still broken, 2 cases.
Your Honor, I would advise my client to stop talking at this time, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, I'm just,
Well, I'll advise medical to take a look at you. Your bond is reduced to the amount your attorney requested. Hopefully, you can get out and get some medical help that you need.
I'll contact your parents on our behalf, Your Honor.
Please. Yeah, bond will be reduced to $5,000 cash surety as requested.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have another affirmative excuse.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Have a great day, Your
She
Honor.
may be excused. Thank you. Case we're gonna call C-4847-24-L, State of Texas versus Rodolfo Cantu. Yes, sir, Your Honor. Mr. Cantu is present, speaks English. Sergio, good afternoon. You may proceed.
Good afternoon, Judge. Sergio is here on behalf of Mr. Cantu, Your Honor. Mr. Cantu is presently incarcerated on the offense of graffiti, pecuniary loss, more than 2,500, less than 30,000. He's got a bond in the amount of $20,000. I was appointed to represent him, Your Honor. And since I noticed that he had not been able to post bond, we filed the writ. He's been in jail approximately a little bit more than a week.
What are you asking in terms of bond?
Well, Judge, we're asking that it be reduced to about 2,500 cash surety. I'm not aware of him having any other holds or anything. Now, if the state's okay with a PR bond, we would have no objection. But
I don't think you're gonna get that today.
you'll never know unless you
What
ask.
says the state? That's
Your Honor,
right. Yes, sir. Go
The state is
ahead.
a 10,000 cash surety bond on this case.
I want to say I looked at his jailings. He's been in custody, he's been in jail over the last year, if I'm not mistaken, multiple times.
Okay.
Are you, Mr. Cantu, are you on probation right now, sir?
That'd be negative, Your Honor, negative,
Are you on parole?
negative, Your Honor.
You have a job?
The show shows, Your Honor, yes, at the poultry shop, going across La Quinta in Alamo, Texas, Your Honor.
A poultry?
Yes, sir, poultry.
What do you do there?
I take off the seats off and the guy shows them up and I give him. Yeah, yes,
I
sir.
thought he said poultry, chickens. Okay. How long have you been working there?
I've been there, since 2022, Your Honor, since I left Mission, Texas, I've been living there in Alamo,
How
Texas.
old are you?
I am 54 years old, Your Honor.
Married?
Negative, Your Honor, single.
And where do you live now?
411 Stewart Court, Alamo, Texas, 78516, Your Honor.
Is that where you receive mail?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
How long have you been there?
I've been there off and on since 2010. I've been off and on there since 2010, off and on. I've been going to San Antonio back and
Who
forth.
lives at 4034 Lopez Street?
My parents, Martin Rodriguez.
That's the address that they have for you. If you make bonds, that's where they're gonna send notice, so you make sure that you communicate with them to notify you of your court date when the letter comes in the mail. Because if not, they're gonna issue a warrant for your arrest if you don't show up.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. I have a question for the attorney and Mrs. Beltran and Mrs. Munoz. My name is Rodolfo Cantu, Your Honor, and I've been in custody since the 8th of this month. And it hasn't been a week. It's been over.
In 2 weeks, yeah, I've got you down for 14 days.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. I did have. Am I going home today, Your Honor, so I can know for my own well-being?
That I
Well,
don't know, sir. That's what.
We're
your
just here,
attorney's
Mr.
asking you.
Cantu, on the bond. So if the bond is reduced to an amount and you couldn't make it, then that might be a different story. But that's what we're trying to do, is reduce your bond from $20,000 cash surety that you have not been able to post.
So what's the damage? Hang on, sir. The damage that was allegedly done is about $3,200 on the wall there of the expressway. I'm gonna order weekly UAs, which means probation is gonna contact you, sir, upon your release. And they're gonna tell you to go in and get drug tested. If you come back positive for drugs, illegal drugs or alcohol, you're gonna end up back in jail. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. First,
If you don't show up, when they tell you to show up, you're gonna end up back in jail. Is that clear?
yes, sir.
So if they tell you to show up on a Friday and you show up Monday, you're going back to jail that week. You understand me?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. I have one thing.
I don't want any excuses why you don't show up. If you need to walk to the probation department or if you need to ride a bicycle over there, you get there. Is that clear?
That is fair, Your Honor. Excuse me, Your Honor.
Bond will be reduced to $3,000 for cash surety. Talk to your attorney. Normally a bondsman charges you 10 to 15% of what that is. I'm also gonna order that he be released to AIP officials, which means you'll be under house arrest, sir, just like I told the other individuals.
I just stay in jail. I don't want to go no monitor me because I'm a free man. That was just a misdemeanor.
It's not a monitor on your foot, sir.
Okay, I'm so sorry, Your Honor.
It's, they'll keep that bracelet on you that you have on the orange one. You're allowed to go to work. You're allowed to go to the doctor's office with their permission. You don't just wander the streets and go wherever you want. You're at home unless you're working or you're going to the doctor's office or you're visiting probation department. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
If you don't have business outside anywhere else, then you're at home. Is that clear?
Well, I don't know how to explain that to you, Your Honor, because
I'm gonna stay in jail. You can stay in jail. Don't make bond. I'm gonna reduce your bond. You don't want to get out? Don't pay the bond and you can stay there.
I want to get out, Your Honor.
Bond will be reduced to $3,000 cash surety with the AIP officials. They're gonna come and have you sign a list of rules that you need to follow. If you can't follow them, don't post your bond. You can stay there until your court gets, okay? Anything else, Mr. Munoz?
Nothing further, Judge. My excuse.
Yes, sir. Have a good afternoon. Thank you. Good luck to you, sir. Mr. Ramon, good luck to you too. Thank
Your Honor,
you. Yes, thank you, Michelle. Have a good afternoon.
Your Honor.
That means.
Judge, may I ask a question, sir?